Hey, so I got a bunch of new concealers that I wanted to try because I haven't done a like concealer comparison video in a really long time. And as you know, my dark circles are here for you. So they're drugstore, let's see, I have brand-wise, Elf, Maybelline, Urban Decay, Rose Inc, LANCOME, and like REVLON, SEPHORA brand, and NYX. A lot of these are formulas that either I'm sort of revisiting because it's been a really long time or they're new to me, kind of like half and half. So I actually kind of wanted to start off with the LANCOME, I'll do a swatch, by the way, like arm swatch, so that you can compare all the colors, because going by like website descriptions, I feel like a lot of these ended up being like a lot lighter than I would have thought. But the first one that I want to try is LANCOME All Over Concealer. This is in the shade 090, IVON. I believe it's neutral. Yeah, so I kind of feel like it was ivory, neutral ivory or something like that. Anyway, it looks a little bit light for me, but let's just check it out. 'Cause from what I remember, the colors were kind of difficult. As far as color, this does seem like it's a little bit more generous. It's a little bit liquidy. I'm just gonna blend these out with my finger. It is pretty lightweight feeling. It has a really light scent as well. I will take it all the way up into my creases, even though it creases, so for those of you who whatever. So I think what I'm gonna do is just compare like circles side by side, because I don't have like perfect even lighting. So I do think that this is like kind of a nice formula. The only thing that I have on my skin besides like moisturizer is just sunscreen. I use the IVON, I can't remember what it's called, but it's like the hydrating mineral sunscreen. Let me just take a look at this. So it adds like a decent amount of coverage. I feel like it's, for me, maybe like light to medium coverage. I'm gonna see if I can build it up. The formula is pretty liquidy, so it's very lightweight, which is kind of nice. Like it's a sort of a serum feel, and the color is actually pretty nice. I don't often wear concealer without at least a little bit of a color corrector though, and I kind of feel like because this concealer is a little bit more sheer that I would need color correction. Otherwise it would give me a little bit of a gray cast, but that's not too bad. I do kind of like that, and I like that it's a little bit more liquidy and lightweight, because I feel like I've been going for that more recently. It's not the formula that I don't know if this is one that, if this is new or like a new version of it. Corrector multi-use, multitasking concealer, buildable coverage. I don't know how much I would say that. I mean, you can build it up a little bit, obviously. Like when I first put it down, it was pretty sheer, and I could build it up to like maybe medium coverage, but it's very liquidy. So I find personally with those like really, really liquidy formulas, you can only build them up so much. But it does seem kind of nice, especially for like daily wear. Yeah, and I actually do like the color. It's not too bad. It's like you know, it's not super olive. It's definitely relatively neutral, but I think it'll work. All right, now I want to try the SEPHORA brand, because I kind of feel like I picked this up at some point. This is a gel serum concealer. This is Bright Future Gel Serum Concealer. Bavarian Cream 01. This is very light. Let me compare it to my, where did my Rare Beauty concealer go? Yeah, this is definitely way too light, because my Rare Beauty concealer is pretty light. It's like my lightest concealer, and this looks ever so slightly more on the pinky neutral side, and just like much lighter, at least a shade lighter. So this isn't going to be a perfect match shade wise, but I did want to, oh yeah, this is way too light. If you're like ivory, like very, very, very porcelain, then this might work for you, but shade wise, way too fucking light, Jesus. But I did want to check out the formula. Huh, okay. So this also feels very lightweight, like serum-y. But as soon as I started like pressing it out, it seems like it offers like a decent amount of coverage. Wow, I actually do kind of like that. And it feels like right now it just kind of feels like I'm touching my skin. Like I don't feel any product at all. It looks very soft. Oh, wow. Okay. That actually gives off like a decent amount of coverage and it feels very lightweight. Just, I mean, the color's not right. It's definitely too light for me. So you can probably see that like gray cast coming through right there. It's way too light. So I would have to pick up another shade. So I think I'm going to though, because I actually really like that. It feels really hydrating and it kind of like melted into my skin really easily. And just having used them back to back, I feel like I like this formula better than the Lancome one already. But I want to see if I can like build up a little bit. This might be kind of nice for highlighting. I don't know. This is very, very light for highlighting in my opinion, but yeah, it's like as soon as I start touching it, it does feel very much like a serum. The actual product kind of like melts into my skin, sort of starts to disappear. Wow, I really like that actually a lot. That's really nice. It's definitely very lightweight. I think this would be really comfortable for daily wear. And I'm actually pleasantly surprised by the amount of coverage that it gives. This might not be the best lighting for these kinds of videos, but let me know what you think. I know a lot of you guys prefer the natural lighting. Yeah, I really like that a lot. I'm definitely gonna pick up a different shade, like a slightly darker shade. I always go for the one that sounds like it's gonna be closest to my skin tone. So if there's like a slightly more warm olive one that's a shade or a few shades darker, you know, then I might just end up having to mix them, but we'll see. So that's the Bright Future Gel Serum Concealer. All right, next up is the Bear With Me Serum Concealer. Dude, all the serum concealers. Bear With Me by NYX Serum Concealer. This is, I think I got this at Ulta. This is in the shade Light. I think just light. Shade-wise, it looks like close-ish. No, it's a little more neutrally and it's darker than the Lancome one. Once again, I'll give you swatches later on, but anyway, it's got like a pump situation. Ooh, that was way too much. It looks, shade-wise, it looks pretty close to Revlon Colorstay. Colorstay, in my opinion. Maybe I'll swatch them next to each other. It might actually be a little bit dark. It's definitely like kind of on the neutrally, like so neutral, because I'm so olive when I say neutral. Neutral always ends up looking like too pink on me. But for concealer, it always feels like I can get away with it not being a perfect match as long as my foundation works. This is a very nice feeling formula as well. It feels a little bit more creamy than the SEPHORA concealer. Decent coverage. That's not bad, actually. When I look at it in the mirror, I can see, because I feel like, maybe I used a little too much, I don't actually know. Oh, it's like setting nicely now. I can feel it kind of like set into the skin. It's very lightweight. It's, yeah, I say almost similar to the SEPHORA version, but ever so slightly thicker and more creamy, if that makes sense. But that's actually really nice, and the color works pretty well. Yeah, I like that a lot. And it's same deal, it's like pretty hydrating. It would be kind of difficult for me to choose between these as far as formula, but the NYX one is just like a nice color match. It looks like it's gonna be a little bit dark, but it blends into my skin really nicely, and especially for like daily wear, like every day, I don't want a concealer that's gonna be like way too bright, because like I said, I can't wear something like super highlighting without a color corrector. And like on every day, if I just want to like take a little bit and put something underneath my eyes, I don't want to have to put a color corrector on, you know? But I actually do really like that. Let's just once again build up a little bit. Because I would say, well, okay, you can actually build it up like quite a bit. Yeah, you can actually build it up like a lot. That's surprising to me. I don't know if I've ever really been a fan of a NYX concealer before. I'm trying to think. That's some good coverage. Wow, I like that a lot. That's very nice. And if you are close to my shade, what did I say this was? Light? There's like a million letters and numbers, and then it says light. So I'm assuming that it's just light. Yeah, this is actually very nice. And if Revlon Colorstay, actually, let me swatch them next to each other. Oh, interesting. Actually, okay, so NYX looks a little more neutrally pink than Colorstay by Revlon. So this is Revlon Colorstay, and this is NYX Light Concealer. So I feel like they would work well together, because if you're olive, then you have like a decent match as far as like the foundation goes. And then like these two colors look like they would play off of each other nicely. Like I don't think that your concealer and your foundation have to match perfectly. The like value of them is like relatively close. NYX looks like ever so slightly lighter. So it would actually work pretty well as far as like highlighting goes. But yeah, I don't know. Hope that was helpful. Okay. Is this a serum concealer? No. So this is Revlon Colorstay Skin Awaken Caffeine and Vitamin C 24 hours 5-in-1 concealer. So many things. And I got the shade that looked lightest closest to me is 015 Light Pale. This is it. Oh, it had a sponge applicator, which I hate, so I ripped it off. But this is it looks pretty yellow, which is typically what I like to go for in a concealer, because my dark circle is a little bit more of like a browny purple color. So yellow, I think, works best. So I'm just gonna do the same thing that I did with NYX. It's not coming out. Ooh, definitely the most yellow one so far. Feels relatively similar to all the formulas. Maybe a little more liquidy than NYX. That's not bad. It's pretty lightweight. I would say I would compare that maybe to the Sephora formula. Yeah, that's not bad. Somewhere between the Sephora formula and the Lancome formula. I feel like it's maybe a little bit, well, let me look at this again. No, yeah, they're like pretty similar. Or maybe it's in between Sephora and NYX. I don't know. They're all like close. I'm gonna try to build it up a little bit. This is like ever so slightly light for me, but I think the yellow helps with the color correction. You can build it up a little bit. You can go from like light to medium. This is my categorization of concealers, because I actually have dark circles. So I feel like a lot of the time when companies describe a concealer as full coverage, it's like medium coverage to me, you know? But this goes from light to medium, in my humble opinion. And that's actually really nice. Very lightweight, very comfortable, similar, somewhere in between Sephora and NYX. And this shade is probably one of my faves. Like if I could get this in like somewhere between these two, that would be perfect for me, you know? But I actually do really like that. I just like hate the spongy applicators. So it also feels kind of cooling underneath my eyes. I think that's, I mean, I don't know, it's supposed to be like awakening with caffeine and vitamin C. Who knows, dude? Also 24 hours, come on, Revlon. No one's wearing makeup for 24 hours. Don't wear makeup for 24 hours. But yeah, I like it, I do like it. I'm filming my phone and I keep forgetting to hit go. Before we move on to the other drugstore, I want to revisit the Stay Naked concealer from Urban Decay, because I remember using this years ago and I think I liked it, but at the time I remember feeling like it wasn't quite full coverage enough for me. But my my wants and needs in a concealer have changed recently-ish. So this is in the shade 20YW, warm yellow, I think, or something like that. So this is like a little more creamy, a little thicker. I don't love that doe foot, but like whatever. Yeah, how come all of these just seem like so light? I don't know. Maybe I think I'm more pale than I actually am. It's pretty light, man. This actually feels quite nice as well. It does seem like a little bit goes a long way. Like it travels. I have to like go back and look in the mirror. I need different angles here. That's pretty lightweight. I do like that. So all of these feel similar to me as far as formula goes. This like formula, when I first put it down, is a little bit thicker, a little more creamy, not quite as serum-y. Maybe Actually, I think it would kind of like fall under the same category as the Colorstay and NYX. So those are like pretty similar with like the coverage and also the way that it feels on my skin. It feels nice. None of these have been like horrible so far. Let's build it up a little bit more. This shade is definitely like more along the lines of my skin tone, but it's also ever so slightly light, I think. So if I could get like a half a shade or like, yeah, like maybe a half a shade darker, that would be perfect. But it does feel very nice. It like, it's slightly less hydrating though. I would say this is a little bit more on the matte side. The other ones had, all of them actually had more of a hydrating, like serum-y formula. This is like setting a lot faster and it feels like it's becoming a lot more matte. So this might actually be something that like, depending on your skin type and what you're looking for, you wouldn't have to set. So it might be better for daily wear, you know? Because that's actually pretty nice as far as coverage. And there's like a tiny bit of like a gray cast, but because it's a little bit more yellow, I feel like it neutralizes a little bit better, you know? But yeah, it definitely sets more than the other ones. I do remember liking this in some ways, but I remember not really feeling like I could do my typical like glam makeup with it. But once again, like things have changed. So I do actually kind of feel like this would be nice for daily wear or like glam. Like I could get away with both. Okay, next up is Rose Inc. I don't know anything about this brand. I just know that they're on Sephora now. This is in LX010. Yeah, I don't know. The packaging was interesting. I've been seeing them all over like the Sephora homepage and I wanted to try it. And this seems like it's gonna be too light. I just wanted to see if it smelled like rose, but it doesn't. I think I was searching like all serum concealers, to be completely honest. Color-wise, it looks pretty close to the Sephora one, but also sorry about all the construction. I haven't even like acknowledged, yeah, it's way too light. I haven't acknowledged it because it's just really annoying. So this definitely feels more mattifying. It feels more for full coverage also. Stop, all the notifications. All right, so that formula looks really nice on my skin. It's too light, unfortunately. So it's very hard to judge. I feel like I need to shake this shit up. It's like separating. It's like separating in the component, which is a little annoying. You know what? It kind of looks like the formula when I'm looking at it here. It kind of reminds me of the MAC. Oh, fuck, I'm not gonna be able to remember the name of it. It was the one that was in a pump like this, but it was glass. Was it not Studio Skin? Was it Studio Skin? What the fuck was that called? Oh, that's really gonna bother me. But the formula kind of like reminds me of that. Let's try to build it up. Packaging seems like fine. It feels a little sticky, ever so slightly, like ever so slightly. There's like some grip to it, which might mean that it contains glycerin. I don't know the ingredients off the top of my head. This one's setting too. So similar to the, fuck, I just messed up the order of these. Similar to the, what is it called? Stay Naked Concealer by Urban Decay. It starts to like set itself, if that makes sense. So the finish of this, I think, is a little more mattifying than the other serum concealers. I don't know if it's supposed to be like matte or a natural finish or satin or what. It does like blend into the skin nicely. So far, all of these pretty much have. The color's a little bit light. I kind of feel like this wouldn't be amazing for dry skin. Maybe the last two, to be completely honest. If you have dry skin, let me know what you think of the Stay Naked concealer, if you've tried it, or this Rose Inc concealer, because it kind of feels like it's setting a little too much. That like potentially it would, like I have some pores. I don't know how well you guys can see that. I'll try to punch in if I can, but I have some pores down here that like when I tried blending into it, that it just kind of like sat on top of them, if that makes sense. It's not really like blending into my skin as well as the other four. And then color-wise, I mean, I went by what was like the description on the website, the Sephora website, and it's just, it's too light. Two more. So I already feel like I'm not gonna like this one because from what I remember, I didn't. I got the Maybelline Fit Me concealer in vanilla. wait, vanilla? Yeah, 11 vanilla. And I don't remember why, oh, this is way too light too. It's annoying because I feel like I don't know. Maybe it won't be. Let's just try it. It's got a tiny little guy. This is pretty liquidy as well. Apparently I'm into liquidy concealers now. Yeah, this is what I remember from this one. So the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer is a concealer for those of you who don't have dark circles. It's like you want to do a little bit of brightening. It gives you like a tiny bit, like the tiniest little bit of coverage, but like this one, in my opinion, has had the least amount of coverage out of all the ones that we've tried. It's also very, I mean, this color is just like a little too light for me, but I mean, I feel like it's pretty obvious if you were comparing to the other ones. It doesn't put down as much coverage. I'm gonna try to build it up a little bit, but this is what I remember from this one, that I was just like, this is just like not for me. It would probably be a very good concealer considering it's drugstore for beginners. And yeah, like someone who wants to just like brighten a little bit, or maybe conceal, like if you have a little bit of discoloration, but like if you have dark circles, if you're like me and you have dark circles, it's just not the one. Yeah, and you can like build it up a little bit. I feel like you can build it up to like light coverage. You know what I mean? It's just not the one. It's just not the one. Let's see, formula-wise, it's fine. Not like it's kind of like somewhere in between the other four and then the slightly more like mattifying formulas, where it doesn't set like way too much, but it's not like super hydrating. Yeah, I don't know. It's not for me. It's just not for me. It's fine if you're a beginner and you don't have dark circles. All right, and then the last one is e.l.f. This is the Flawless Brightening Concealer. I got the shade Fair 15W. Looks like this. It's one of those clicky pens. It's too light. All of them are too light. I think I'm way fairer than I actually am or something. I hate the clicky pens. Let's give this a shot. Way too light. This one actually might be the lightest one. This is definitely meant to be like a highlighting pen. Oh, it just disappeared. It was just like, I started blending it in and then it was gone. This is a very light. This is definitely not meant to be like an actual concealer, in my opinion. This is supposed to be like one of those, what was that thing? The YSL thing? You know, where you just like use it to highlight certain areas of your face. It's like, so 2 coats of this is like the same coverage as the Maybelline Fit Me. Yeah, this is definitely not a concealer. See, that's what I was confused about, or what I was interested in. I was interested in these like serum concealers, so I was looking for things that were gonna be like brightening and lightweight and shit. This is definitely one of those things that like you use like a little bit on the tops of the cheekbones and like down the bridge of the nose and the inner corner to like brighten. So it's not necessarily like a bad thing. It's not necessarily like a bad formula or anything. If you're looking for that kind of thing, then this would probably be really good because it does look nice on my skin. It's like pretty lightweight and not drying or anything, but it's not like I mean, you can see it's not like providing coverage, you know? It's not bad. It's not bad. It's fine. But like, that's not for me. Once again, if you're like a beginner and you want to do a little bit of brightening, you have perfect skin, you don't have dark circles, and then it's gonna be fine. Okay, so we have LANCOME, SEPHORA, NYX, REVLON, Urban Decay, Rose Ink, which exploded when I closed it. That was very annoying. Maybelline, and then the e.l.f. brightener pen thing. So you can see that LANCOME, SEPHORA, and NYX are all like more on the neutral side. LANCOME's a little bit more like warm. And then the REVLON one is like REVLON, and then the Maybelline actually are pretty yellow. And then the Rose Ink and Urban Decay are like a little more like toned down, a little softer yellows. And then there's like a little bit more of that neutrally kind of like peach in the e.l.f. one, but it's, you know, just a little later. So actually, As far as color matching goes, I think the Urban Decay one is really good for me. It just like looked a little bit light, but I think it like worked relatively well. I have a feeling that I might actually like to mix the Revlon and the NYX concealers, serum concealers, because I liked both of the formulas, and I think if I mix them, I'll be able to get like a lot closer to a color that will work for me regularly. It's like a little bit annoying, but it's not that big a deal. They're both kind of like squeeze outs, you know what I mean? I don't know. You can put like a little bit on this finger, a little bit on this finger, and just mash them together. It'll be fine. I was actually like pleasantly surprised by pretty much all of the formulas, especially of the first 4. They were like kind of exactly what I was looking for. Not super duper full coverage, not very heavy, a little bit more hydrating and more comfortable for daily wear. And also just like, I don't know, I've been kind of like moving away from like the really, really full coverage concealers. I tried doing like the typical glam that I would do on New Year's Eve, and I just wasn't happy with the way my under eyes looked. Like I just can't really like, the older you get, man, you can't get away with it as much. You just can't wear as much powder, you can't wear as much coverage. It just ends up looking like too much. So yeah, let me know what you think of these concealers if you tried them or if you're interested in any of them. And I have some color correctors that I would like to compare next. So let me know if you're interested in that, because I have some drugstore ones and then some like higher end ones, kind of the same deal. All right guys, thanks for watching. Happy New Year. Hope you enjoyed the last year or whatever. And yeah, my dark circles will never be going away. So I'll always be here for you in your dark circle content. Okay, bye.